Let's subscribe,
like, share, and leave the comments behind.
Thank you and welcome to our today's session. Today we are going to cover the paper 1 aspect. Paper 1 is divided into 2 sessions. We have question 1 that is very specific, that is testing your functional capability. How are you familiar with functional skills? Then we have question 2 that will be testing a close test. Then now number 3, we are going to test you about oral skills. Now, my area of concern today we are going to cover is the oral skills. Oral skills is a section that is going to test you on your 1. Do you know how to pronounce? Do you know how to pronounce what? You know how to pronounce what? Then number 2, we are going to test your knowledge on maybe, let's say, homophones. Knowledge on homophones. Then number 3, we are going to test your knowledge on silent letters. On silent letters. Then number 4, we are also going to test on your knowledge on stress and intonation. Stress and intonation. Then Roman 5, we are going to test your knowledge on what we call the syllables and syllabic stress. Syllables and the syllabic what? Stress. Then again, we can also test you on one area, that is the English sound. How many English sounds do you know? Are you familiar with English sounds? Are we together? Thank you. Now, first of all, I'll straight ahead go to the first section. What is it we expect you from the English sound? English sound. In oral skills, that is question 3, the English sounds we are going to cover is 1, we have sounds which are called diphthongs. We have sounds which are called diphthongs. What is a diphthong? A diphthong is an English sound that is covering majorly a combination. We say a combination of either two vowel sounds, or we can have a vowel sound and some consonants in it. That is what we expect to know. What is a diphthong? For example, if we had the word is make, how will we read the word? This word can best probably be read as may. May. The A, we say the A is the diphthong sound, a combination of 2 sounds. What if we had another word like date? Date is another word. This will be combined to have date, whereby it is the A sound that we have captured. Then again, class, we are going also to look at other sounds. And then number sound, I'll talk about maybe sound number 2, whereby we have a sound that looks like this. A sound looks like this. That is what we call theta, more or less, in mathematics, I guess. Which sound is that? This is a sound that is found in words like, let's say, in words like what? In words like thin. Say thin. We say thin. We also say there is another sound that looks like this. Where do we have such a kind of sound? This is a sound that is found in words like that. In words like that. We also have in words like those. In words like these, etc. Another combination of words which we are going to cover is the sound that looks like this. It is a longer S with a longer tail. Which sound is this? This is an English sound that covers words like shine, shine, words like shine. Then again, we also have words like shofar. Shine, we also have, this one has words like shofar. Shofar for the CH. Shofar for the what? For the CH. Then we also have another category of sound which is like this, and it has a T and then S, a T and then an S. Which sound is that? This is a sound that is found in words like chair, words like chair. Chair, after chair we have check. Chair, we also have the word check, check. Then we also have maybe chop, in words like chair, check, and chop. We also have another sound which looks like this, D and then a Z, D and a Z, which are the words which are found in such a sound. We say such a sound is found in words like jam, words like jam, Then we also have another word that is jump, etc. All that sort. Then we also have another sound that looks like this. It has a single number 3 that is facing on the other side. This word. Which are some of the words that are found in such a sound? We have words like measure. Words like measure. Like measure. Then we also have another sound which captures this letter. It is an N, it starts from somewhere there, and it has a longer tail. N with a longer tail, which are some of the words that we can have there. We have words like sing. We have words like sing. We can also talk about long. The MD we are very specific is one that captures these N that has a longer tail, sing, and long. Then we also have another sound that is capturing, it is a J with an I, dot, that is a sound, that is an English sound that captures words like you. It also captures words like, the homophone for you, we talk about this word. These are words which are captured in this what? In this sound. Together. Then we also have the vowel sounds also which are included. We have been majorly looking at the consonant sound. We also looked at the vowel sound. The vowel sound which I'm going to be very specific. The vowel sound which we are going to capture. Number one, we'll have a combination of a sound that looks like this. Combination of a sound that looks like that, which is the words that we can find in that sound. We have the words like, let's say, we say that word. It is B, A, and B. B, A, and B. How do we pronounce that word? We don't talk as bad, we say bed. We have bed, we don't say bad. Then we also have another word in that category. We can say this word, this C-A-T. C-A-T for an animal, for the smaller animal, which we read as cat, which is very wrong. We are supposed to read this word as cat. It is like an A combined with an E. It's cat and not cat. Together class? Then another sound which we are going to have, another name that is going to fall under this category is the obvious M-A-N. That word, we normally read it as man, which is very wrong. We say man. We say what? We say man. Then also we are going to capture now words which are going to have the R sound. The R sound, we'll have it denoted like that. The R sound is denoted like that. What are some of the words? Which are some of the words which we are going to realize in that R sound? We are going now to have words like C, U, T, which is going to generally be read as cat. Cat to mean for letter R. Then we are also going to have this word. We say B, U, D. The R sound is the bad. We say bad and not any other way. Then we also have another category of sound, a vowel sound that looks like this. It is like an C which is inverted. It is a C that is inverted, facing in the other direction. So which are some of the words that are falling under that category? We have a word like this. We have P, O, O, and R. This vowel sound here, and once again I want to be very specific. When you have a vowel sound like this and it has a colon at the front part of it, it means that this vowel sound is longer. We say a longer vowel sound, which is very different from the fact that if you have another sound which does not have the two colons, which means it is shorter. So this one we are going to read it as poor. We say poor and not poor. We usually read it as poor, which is very wrong. We say he is poor. We say he is poor. Having a longer vowel what? Sound O. Then we also have another vowel sound that looks like this. It is an I, like that. Then I want to be very specific. When we are talking about sound, I want us to be very specific. This is I, this is an I. Which are some of the words that fall in that category? We have the word like pretty. We have the word like pretty, pretty. Very short vowel E, pretty. We say pretty. Short vowel E sound. Then we can also have another word like what? We can have big, big, big. Short vowel, short vowel. Then another person can also tell you kin, kin. Short vowel E, big, kin. Then after that, we also have a vowel now. We say a longer vowel E. Let's assume we have a longer vowel E. Longer vowel E, it is an I plus two dots. I plus two dots. Then we'll have words that fall in that category like what? We say, we read this word as B. We read it as B. That one is read as B, showing a longer vowel sound E. And not like the other one which we say is short. E. The other one is B. Then any other one? And yes, we can also talk about D. We say the word is D. So in general, somebody can conclude and say when we have two vowel E's following each other, then that vowel sound can be longer. Are we together? Thank you. Then we're also going to look at this vowel sound that is E. You say it is E. This is sound. It is an E that is facing the lower, down direction, facing down. So what are some of the words that we have in this category? We say this word is read as about. This word is read as about and not about. We don't say about, but we say about. That is how we are going to read that one. Now, more or less, that is the most important part. Silent letters. Now, when we're talking about silent letters, it is also another category that is capturing your pronunciation, how vocal are you going to read that word in the right way. For example, if you don't know how to read this word, you don't know how to read this word, then you are going to find it very difficult to identify the silent letter. For example, in this word, the most obvious silent letter, if we are not ready to read it the way it's supposed to be, the silent letter here is going to be M, because we say that word is read as mnemonic. We say mnemonic, and having read that, we'll have the sound that being silent, or letter M being silent. We also can have another example of a word like this. So can have another word like that. Having that word, the silent letter there is going now to be P, because we read that word as Sam. We say, we read that word as what? As Sam. If somebody says Sam, then he can obviously say that P is silent. Then another word that we can use as an example in that category is the word we say a cool. We say this word is cool. The ta. Cool. The ta. What is the kudita? We are going to identify the silent letter here. Kudita. In this one, we are going to identify P as being very silent, and then we're also going to have T as being silent. So here, somebody can identify two letters. That is P. Then we are going to have T being silent. That is ku, the tongue. Another example of another word which can have in that category is this word S-U-B-T-L-E. We read that word as subtle, subtle, so that you can have now the silent letter as being B. We read that word as subtle and not any other way but subtle, identifying B as what? B as silent. Another word we can have in that example is the word rapport. We read that word as rapport and not rapport. It is rapport, and when you read like that, you will easily identify that T is very silent in that word. We say rapport and not rapport. Then we can also have so many words. We can also have a word like this. We can have this word. This word, it is read as honor. Honor in that category will easily tell you that H is again silent in that word. We say honor. Then we also have another one we can say. This word is read as heir. Heir to the throne. So which means H is silent. Pronounced the same. Or we are going to talk about homophones as words which are going to be captured as having similar pronunciation. That is why I'm very keen in my pronunciation. We say pronunciation and not pronunciation. So we're going to have words like one. For example, a word like Sam. A word like Sam. This word will be an homophone, most probably with another word that looks like this. This Sam, which is a quantifier, is going to have a similar pronunciation as the word Sam to mean addition, correct? Then another example maybe we can have is the word you. The word you is an homophone. This to mean identity of a person, that is the second person singular, to mean you. Then this one can be an homophone for the word this, for meaning animal. Like female sheep, you say you. Say you for an animal, a sheep, isn't it? Then after that, there are so many words we can have in that category. I'm going also to look at now the other aspect whereby we will most probably have to test you is intonation. Intonation, we say intonation. Now, what is intonation? Intonation is the falling and rising. We say intonation is the falling and rising. Falling and rising. Now, we are going to talk about the falling and rising of our tone in reading certain words. For example, we can have a question telling you to identify whether that word or that sentence is read as in the falling intonation or in the rising intonation. Correct, class? Now, we also have to mention number 6 here. Number 5. Number 6, we are also going to mention about the word stress. Stress. Now, in paper 1, stress is very important because there's a section you will be identifying, you will be testing to identify maybe various points in which stress has been laid in a word. So we say, what is stress? Stress is, we say, the relative emphasis. The relative what? Emphasis that we lay in what? Relative emphasis we lay in one. We lay emphasis at different points in a word. For example, we say in stress, we say if we are going to stress a certain word, then for example, a word like this, I-M-P-O-R-T. If we lay emphasis in the first syllable, the rule is if we lay emphasis on the first syllable, then we are going to have that word as a noun. We're going to lay emphasis on the first syllable, then we are going to say that word is being read as a noun. Then again, if you're going to have that word having stress on the second syllable, then we can easily say that is a verb. We say, if we're going to read that word, placing emphasis on the second syllable, then we say that one is a what? It's a verb. Now, the general rule is here that if we lay emphasis on the first syllables, then again, you can look very keen. We have two stretch markers. Stretch markers are what I've used here. This is a small hyphen on top. Or you can easily identify by using a dash just under where we have that sound. But you should be very clear that if you extend your line again until to the second syllable word, and then you'll be wrong. Here, the stress ends at M here, that's why it's very short. Then the second main stress, you're going to have it starting from P until the rest of the word. And the general rule we obviously say is that if we have stress falling on the first syllable, that's a noun. If we have stress falling on the second syllable, then that is what is going to be a what? A verb. Then that is very obvious because now we are going to tell you identify, or rather use that word to form or rather to write two sentences, one as a noun and another one as a verb. So you must be very keen. This one we say imports to mean a noun. To mean, for example, imports. If somebody we can talk about having materials at the port of Mombasa, we say he received the imports. He received the imports. Then again, as a verb, we are going now to stress the second syllable. We say import. Import mean to maybe to send to another person to receive them. Then again, we are going to have, for example, another one like this. This is a word in which you can easily have stress falling on two sections, either on the first syllable there. That is why we say convict. He is a convict to mean he is a person behind bars. We say he is a convict. So we put stress there, or the stress will come all the way until where we have the end. Or rather, somebody else can say the word is read as a verb. This one will mean a noun, this one will mean a what? A verb. So we are going to have the second stress being there, or you use this or this. We don't use all of them. You're just going to decide which is the appropriate stress mark for you. Are you going to use the hyphen, or are you going to use the dash? But I will advise, let us just try and use maybe the dash. Very obvious, very important, or it's very easy for you to draw. Or if you're very conversant with the hyphen, you can still go on with it. So this one will be read as convict. You see, the stress is on the second. We say convict, and note at the first time whereby we have stress going up, where we have convict to mean a noun. On the second noun, it will mean as a verb. We have so many words. Another one which you can have in that category is the word refuge. We have this word. This one, if we lay the first emphasis, if we lay stress here, we will have it have a different meaning from another word which is the same, and we are going to have the stress falling on the second syllable. For example, if we lay on the first syllable, we are going to say refuse. A refuse to mean the remnants. Refuse for a noun to mean maybe the remnants after having finished with the real material, or rather we can say now in the second one as refuse. The stress here falls on the second. We say refuse, meaning probably to deny as a verb, to deny, to say no. I refused to accept to mean a verb. Correct? That is how we are going to identify it. At the sentence level, stress at the sentence level is what we call now emphatic. We say stress at the sentence level is what we call emphatic stress. This one is on the sentence level. What we mean by stress on the emphatic stress on the sentence level? This is a scenario whereby we are going to give you a sentence like this. He wasted, let us have this example. He wasted all his food. All his food. He wasted all his food. Now, stress on the sentence level is going to help you identify what will be the impact of stressing this first word there, because we're going to talk about he. If we stress the word he, what will be the difference here? For example, if I tell you to identify or give meaning of the sentence, if you stress the first word there, then the meaning will be that it was he, we say usually, it was he, and the not, maybe any other. That is how we are supposed to answer that. You say it was he and not any other, maybe gender, because we have two genders. We have a he and a she. So we talk about it was he and not any other gender or person, because now we can talk about he if you're specific, or he to mean gender, or any other person that wasted his food, all his food. That is how we are supposed to answer that. It was he and not any other gender that or person that wasted all his food. Very specific. That's when we have stressed the word he. What if we stress the word wasted? What if we stress the verb here? It is wasted. So what will be the impact of the whole meaning of the sentence? If we stress the word wasted, then the meaning of the sentence will change. We'll talk about now. Now you actually say he wasted. We don't say, we just respond and say he wasted and not make good use of the food and not make good use of the food. Make good use of the food. So the most important part here is that you have identified this not making good use of good. For example, when we waste, we say we are making bad use of maybe an item, but when we are not making good use of it, then we say it is wasted. So you must be very keen that you identify. If stress is falling on the word wasted, then you must have not made good use of the food. Are we together? Then if it was all his food, if somebody identified, how will the sentence meaning change if you stress now all his food, or rather somebody can split it up and maybe tell you now if we have food alone, what will be the general change in the meaning of the sentence? Now in this category, somebody can easily identify and tell you it was his food and not any other person's food. It was his food. Now to mean ownership, he owns it. It was his own food and not any other person's food. That is how you're supposed to respond to that. And then again, if again you lay emphasis on the word his, so it means the gender. It's very specific. It is like it's going to be on the same side like the first one we identified. You are going to say it was all his food and not maybe her food or rather any other person's food, but his own food. That is how we are going to look at emphatic stress. That is stress at the sentence level. At the sentence level. Then again, the last now part which I'm going to talk about is the what? The syllables. Syllables. Now, under syllables, you are going to be asked to identify how many syllables are in a certain word. What is a syllable? We say a syllable is the single smallest unit of a word. The single smallest unit of a word. For example, somebody can ask you, for example, the word English. The word English. Well, how many syllables do we have in the word English? How many syllables do we have in the word English? Now, for the word English, we only have two syllables. We have English, because that is how we read it. Actually, we say syllables, and you can easily identify by reading that word. You cannot identify syllables by just breaking every letter on its own. You say you read that word, and you easily find the number of syllables in that word. Then again, now the NB that I can give above all that, the NB that I can give to summarize all that, is that all or rather most adjectives, we say most adjectives and nouns, most adjectives and nouns have stress falling on the first syllable. Stress falling on the first syllable. All adjectives, or rather most of the adjectives and nouns, have stress falling on the first syllable. Then again, that one will also talk about the NB that follows, which is most adverbs, we say ADV, that is the short form of adverbs. Most adverbs and verbs, have the syllable falling on the second syllable. Have stress falling on the second syllable. That is the only assumption we can give to every word that we have covered. That is in the second syllable or in the first syllable words where we have the stress. That is the end of the first session of today's lesson. Class, maybe what I will say is that having notified all that areas, we still have a lot more to capture. Maybe we'll cover on our second sessions or the other sessions which will follow. For today, I'll just say thank you and probably subscribe to our channel for more information that is going to help you cover paper 1 English, which is very important. It's very crucial for you to score very high marks in paper 1 because it will improve, or rather, your general grade in English relies mostly in paper 1. That is what we see. Thank you and have a blessed day.